She is very difficult to officiate because of all of the contact that's happening around her all of the time. That being said, I was in contact with a number of WNBA coaches yesterday about this topic of the officiating in the WNBA.
Lobo just said about Caitlin Clark in the WNBA refs is nothing short of explosive. And the league can't ignore it anymore. We just witnessed another stunning display of the Caitlin Clark effect. But this time, it's not about a buzzer beater or a highlight reel. It's about the officiating disaster during the Fever versus Sun game and how it could actually damage the WNBA's future. And now, a WNBA legend, Rebecca Lobo, has finally spoken out. Her words, absolutely eye-opening. Not only did she address the referee crisis head-on, she also revealed what insiders across the league are really saying behind closed doors about the treatment of Caitlin Clark and the dangerous path the league is heading down. This wasn't just analysis. This was a wake-up call. Because let's be real, if we've learned anything so far, it's this. The WNBA still has no idea how to handle its golden goose. So in this video, we're breaking down exactly what Rebecca Lobo said and why it matters now more than ever. Plus, there's a major development with the Indiana Fever you need to know about. It's great news on the surface, but it makes the league's inaction even more alarming. But first, do your part. Like this video. Every like is a spare whistle for the refs, since the ones they have clearly aren't working. And make sure to subscribe for non-stop updates on Caitlin Clark, the Fever, and everything going down in the WNBA. Let's rewind, because clearly, the league needs a remind.
The nerve, the second-year player clearing out that side of the floor, shooting on Stewie, and then watch the reaction with one another. Stewie's laugh.
Literally laughing as I write this, because Caitlin Clark's return wasn't just a comeback. It was a statement. Just a few games ago, she lit it up with 25 points in the first half, including 3 logo bombs in 38 seconds. Yeah, 38 seconds. It wasn't just electric. It was a full-on voltage surge that reminded everyone, fans, players, even the league itself, who's really driving the bus in the WNBA.
And Cunningham is down behind the play, but they've got Caitlin Clark. 2 players with incredible up. Clark, another long 3. She's back.
This wasn't just a statement. It was the statement. The game that made one thing crystal clear. The WNBA doesn't just benefit from Caitlin Clark. It depends on her. And those 5 games she missed, they weren't just a hiccup. They were an exposure. Viewership plummeted. Social engagement tanked. National buzz practically flatlined.
But here we go with Caitlin Clark singularly being missing for the time she was gone, and ratings tanking 50% in some cases. And then also she comes back and reminds everyone how spectacular she is. And everybody's talking about the WNBA. So if you needed to sort of have it affirmed to you that it is just her, that the singularity of her is what we are talking about and her star power, you got it with this absence and then the way she came back.
Weeks of crashing ratings and rising pressure. Caitlin Clark's return didn't just lift the Indiana Fever, it lifted the entire WNBA. Her game against the New York Liberty. It peaked at 2.8 million viewers, making it one of the most-watched WNBA broadcasts of all time. For perspective, the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, yes, the championship series of a century-old men's league, averaged 0.5 million viewers. Now, sure, hockey and basketball aren't a perfect apples to comparison, but Caitlin Clark just outdrew the Stanley Cup. That's not normal, that's historic. And while WNBA leadership seems to have completely missed the gravity of that moment, don't worry, we'll get to that. Rebecca Lobo didn't. Olympic gold medalist, basketball Hall of Famer, one of the most respected voices at ESPN. She gets it. And before we even get to her powerful comments about the officiating, just listen to how she described the sheer impact of Caitlin's return.
Rebecca, tell me, what does Clark's return mean for the WNBA?
Well, I mean, it means a lot more people are paying attention once again. We know how much Caitlin drives ratings. We know how much Caitlin drives attention on the WNBA. And for her to come back and do it in that way was just ridiculous.
Did you catch what Rebecca Lobo said? People are watching again. It's a simple phrase, but it says everything. Because if people are watching again, it means they stopped watching. And we all know exactly when that happened. When Caitlin Clark was out. But Lobo didn't stop there. She broke down precisely why viewers came flooding back the second Clark returned, and what that says about the WNBA's future.
I'm sitting there at the end of the first quarter when she had that 38-second stretch where she drained deep three after deep three after deep three. I was just sitting there thinking, I've been around this league since 1997. I have never seen that in a WNBA game. Have we seen players go on runs? Of course we have, but not like that. Not where a couple of the three-pointers are from 30-plus feet. It was an exhibition by her.
It's the thing. These weren't your average long twos or deep threes. These were logo bombs from another zip code. Very few players, if any, can hit shots like that with this kind of consistency and ease. And that's exactly why fans can't look away. Even Natasha Cloud, who hasn't exactly been Caitlin's biggest fan, had to admit the obvious. You have to guard her the second she crosses half court. That's not normal. Just ask Rebecca Lobo.
It was just ridiculous. It's not often that you're watching the WNBA or that I'm watching it and I'm like, wow, I've just never seen this before.
All of this makes what's been happening, not just since Caitlin Clark's return, but really all of last season and now even more this year, deeply concerning. Because we're no longer just talking about a few missed calls or physical defense, we're talking about a pattern. A pattern that's become so obvious, so blatant, that even longtime WNBA voices like Rebecca Lobo are now stepping up and speaking out. And that recent game against the Connecticut Sun, it should have sent shockwaves through league headquarters. But instead, silence.
This angle is wild, folks. There's the eye gouge. Watch Mabrey. Boom! I mean, come on.
See Sheldon and Marina Mabrey basically tag-teamed Caitlin Clark mid-game, first a claw to the face, then a full-on body check that sent her crashing to the court. And somehow, neither one was ejected. Now look, this isn't about pretending. Caitlin wasn't talking a little trash with JC earlier. She was, but trash. Talk isn't a green light to start throwing blows. You can't just flatten the face of the league like it's a WWE match and expect everything to be fine. Even the commentators were stunned. You could hear it in their voices. They expected an ejection. And they weren't alone. Across the league, coaches, analysts, fans, even players, the reaction was the same.
Hey, we would have been crashing our team.
Courtney, if somebody ever tackles you like that,
Nobody would ever tackle me like that. They would play with Bridget like that, and then we would have to like take it up there.
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying.
Nobody would ever play with me like
If
that.
that ever happened, you better crash out behind me, because I'm crashing out behind you.
T,
We can share the same jail cell.
Now, of course, the face claw and body check on Caitlin was the viral moment, the clip everyone's talking about. But let's be clear, that wasn't some random flash of chaos. It was the boiling point in a game where the tension had been simmering from the opening tip, and the refs kept letting it slide. What happened wasn't spontaneous. It was inevitable.
This is JC Sheldon right here with an entire handful of Caitlin Clark's shoulder and bicep, and she's twisting it. Okay? I mean, this is wild. Here's the zoomed out look, the snapshot. I mean, this league does not have control of its players.
Chippiness didn't just simmer, it boiled over. Fast dot, and of course, Stephanie White was livid after the game. You could see it before she said a single word. The body language, the tight jaw, the deep breath as she sat down. Then, she let it fly. No filters. No holding back. She unloaded, and rightfully so.
You know, the game has changed so much. Players are faster, they're better, they're bigger, they're stronger. You know, they're as good as they've ever been. They're as athletic as they've ever been. The game is fast now. Things are happening quickly. Everybody's getting better, except the officials.
Yeah, that's about as harsh as you can roast the refs without actually naming names. We're getting better, and you're not. It's brutal, and it hits right at the heart of what so many players, coaches, and fans have been feeling. Here's the thing. This didn't start with the Sun game. It's been boiling all season. The missed calls, the inconsistency, and the way players like Caitlin Clark are being officiated completely differently, like there's a different rule book, depending on the jersey. It's not just frustrating, it's becoming a crisis of credibility.
What was that play? Oh my god, this is rigged. This is rigged. She got yanked. Foul on her hip. That's a hack! That's a hack! That's a hack! Oh my god, they hacked the one upon her and they hacked Caitlin Clark. They are both hacks. They are both hacks. They hacked Fever twice, and then there was a phantom foul called on Sabrina Ionescu.